if Britain revived the 1701 rule on foreign-born office holders. The old wording, often quoted from the Act of Settlement 1701, is real. It said that a person born outside England, Scotland, Ireland, or the dominions belonging to them could not sit in Parliament, join the Privy Council, hold civil or military office, or receive crown grants, even if naturalised. That reflected the fears of its time. Britain was guarding itself against foreign influence around the crown, particularly from continental advisors and dynastic interests. It was written in an age when allegiance was closely tied to birth, dynasty, and inherited loyalty. But Britain has changed profoundly since then. So over the centuries, later legislation, especially the British Nationality Act 1948 and British Nationality Act 1981, replaced that principle with a modern one. If you are a British citizen, your place of birth does not in itself prevent you serving your country in public office. That means today, a British citizen born abroad may sit in Parliament, become a minister, serve in senior public office, or join the armed forces. So what would happen if Parliament decided to reverse that and restore something closer to the original principle? First, Britain would immediately create two categories of citizen: those who may fully participate in governing the country and those who may never do so, regardless of citizenship, contribution, or loyalty. That would be one of the most significant constitutional changes in modern British public life. Second, a number of current and former office holders would have been excluded under such a rule. Even someone like Boris Johnson would have faced difficulty under a strict birthplace test. Third, the legal consequences would be substantial. Parliament is sovereign and could legislate, but such a move would immediately collide with the principles embedded in the Human Rights Act 1998 and arguments about equal citizenship under modern law. Fourth, it would affect not only politics, but the civil service, defence and diplomacy. A strict birthplace rule could exclude highly capable people whose loyalty to Britain is unquestioned, but whose birth happened elsewhere. The political argument in favour would be straightforward. Those exercising sovereign power over Britain should have the deepest rooted constitutional connection to the country. The argument against would be equally strong. Citizenship itself is supposed to be the constitutional bond, and loyalty cannot simply be judged by birthplace. There is also an important constitutional irony. The original 1701 clause was not written for modern migration debates at all. It was aimed at foreign aristocratic influence around monarchy and court power, not at the modern democratic state. That means anyone calling for its revival must answer a serious question: what modern problem is being solved by excluding people on the basis of birthplace alone, when the real modern risks often arise from ideology, undeclared interests, lobbying, or divided allegiance that birthplace itself does not necessarily reveal? Britain absolutely has the right to debate sovereignty, allegiance, and who should hold power, but if such a debate is to be serious, it must be framed around modern constitutional realities, not simply lifted from 1701 and assumed to fit unchanged into 2026. The principle worth examining is not old wording by itself, but whether modern Britain still has adequate safeguards against influence that runs contrary to the national interest